Hey guys, in today's video you'll meet Ariel Nightshade, a therapist who died for 28 minutes and came back with a shocking revelation about the power of prayer. What she saw on the other side will give you goosebumps and change everything you think about faith in the invisible world. Leave your like, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and comment here from which city you are watching. I really want to know where this story will go. My name is Ariel Nightshade, and as I remember that fateful day, I still feel my heart beating faster, as if it reminds me of the fragility and power of life. I was a mental health professional, used to facing other people's emotional challenges, but I never imagined that a routine day would turn into the most profound and transformative experience of my entire existence. On that May 14, 2024, in Detroit, while facing the chaotic traffic and rush at the rehabilitation clinic where I worked, I realized that something was unfolding beyond what my eyes could capture. Every step, every breath carried an inexplicable intensity, and an inner murmur whispered that something great was about to happen, even though I couldn't identify exactly what it was. There were no light warnings or clear signals, just the intuition that the universe was conspiring to reveal hidden secrets. Amidst the rush and routine, I felt that the simple act of living was about to transform into a journey of profound and unexpected discoveries. That feeling made me understand that, behind the daily challenges, there were hidden layers of meaning, waiting to be revealed. It was at that moment that a seed of transformation began to germinate within me, a silent call that drove me to transcend the limits of everyday life. I felt the need to seek a deeper meaning in each emotion, in each obstacle, as if existence itself was preparing to deliver to me a truth that would forever change my perception of the world. That day in Detroit started like any other, but from the first hours I felt that the fast pace of the city was hiding something beyond routine. When I left the house, the streets were already buzzing with the movement of cars and people. I walked along the sidewalk with my ears open to the murmur of the city, while the sun peeked shyly between the old and modern buildings, forming shadows and lights that seemed to dance in sync with my heart. On the way to the clinic, the heavy traffic made me reflect on the ephemerality of life. I remember talking to a driver, a middle-aged man who, upon noticing my distant look, commented, "Some days seem to promise something special, even without us understanding why." His words echoed in my mind, intensifying the feeling that this day would not just be ordinary, but charged with silent portent. Upon arriving at the clinic, I was greeted by Sophia Rayburn, my colleague, whose welcoming smile always brought unexpected relief in the midst of adversity. She casually commented, "Ariel, today I feel like something big is in the air, like the city is conspiring on our behalf." His words, laced with subtle enthusiasm, helped dispel the anxiety I could barely identify. The clinic's environment was permeated by a peculiar energy, with patients and professionals moving at a pace that mixed the tiredness of the day with silent hope. As I prepared for another day of challenges, routine seemed to take on a new meaning, revealing that even seemingly banal moments could hide unexpected depth. Every look, every gesture from colleagues and patients seemed to carry a silent message, urging me to pay attention to details that previously went unnoticed. It was in this context that the day unfolded, simple and complex, like life itself, setting the stage for what was to come. The afternoon was still intense, and suddenly, everything changed in an instant that seemed to slow down time. I was immersed in the busy routine of the clinic, between conversations and caring for patients, when a strange feeling began to dominate me. It was as if a sudden cold invaded my body, and suddenly, an overwhelming dizziness surprised me. As I walked down a silent hallway, I felt a sharp, stabbing pain in my chest, as if an immense weight had suddenly set in. I tried to reach out for support, but my senses went haywire. The vision became blurred, and the ground seemed to be approaching quickly. Amidst the inner chaos, I heard Sophia's worried voice, who was hurriedly approaching. "Ariel, what's going on? Are you okay?" But his words, distant and muffled, barely penetrated the veil of my own pain and confusion. Before I could respond, I lost my balance. The last memory I had was of an uncontrolled slide, while the world around me turned into a mixture of shadows and lights. Each second seemed to stretch out forever, and the sound of my racing heart echoed in the silence that ensued. As I fell, I felt the coldness of the floor mix with the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The clinic environment, once so familiar, took on an almost surreal dimension. The distant murmur of conversations and the sound of hurried footsteps turned into an echo that seemed to come from another world. Still semi-conscious, I tried to scream, but my voice was lost in the immensity of despair. Fear took over as my mind struggled to understand what was happening, and at that exact moment I felt the inevitable. My heart had stopped beating, leaving me suspended between life and the unknown. Amid the darkness of the unknown, I felt my being detach from my body, as if I were floating in a timeless and limitless space. The sensations that invaded me were intense and contradictory. A deep calm mixed with the restlessness of no longer belonging to physical reality. I saw colors I didn't recognize, as if each hue told an ancestral story, and the absence of sound was transformed into a silent melody, capable of calming the soul. As I walked through this realm between life and death, the notion of time dissolved. There was no past or future, just an eternal present where my consciousness expanded beyond the limits of my body. At one moment I thought I heard a distant, almost imperceptible whisper that seemed to call me by my name. Ariel. This word echoed in the vastness, as if the universe itself was trying to communicate with me. The voice was comforting and at the same time mysterious, awakening in me simultaneous curiosity and fear. The feeling of being in a state of complete vulnerability was mixed with surprising clarity. I noticed every detail of that immeasurable space. The ripples of a soft light that caressed my essence and the presence of a palpable energy, which was felt in every particle of my being. Although there was no traditional dialogue, within me a silent conversation resonated. An intimate interaction between what I believed to be my inner self and something greater that transcends any earthly understanding. It was as if each thought turned into a revelation, making it clear that I was facing a unique experience, where death was not the end, but a passage to a new understanding. That disembodied and formless journey taught me that, even in moments when everything seems to cease, the essence of life persists and manifests itself in unexpected ways. Silence enveloped me like a protective cloak, and I instinctively knew that something transformative was about to reveal itself, setting the stage for an encounter that would forever change my understanding of the hidden power of existence. When I least expected it, I felt an abrupt pull that threw me back to reality. The world of light and silence was replaced by a chaos of sounds and intense sensations. I woke up in the emergency room, with my eyes half open, struggling to understand where I was and what had happened. Around me, worried faces crowded. Among them, Jim Harper, the emergency doctor, whose expression of relief mixed surprise and caution. "You came back with us, Ariel." "It was a miracle," Jim said, as his eyes shone with a mix of disbelief and compassion. His words resonated with the weight of the unexpected, as if life itself had conspired to give me a second chance. The transition from spiritual space to physical reality was like an abrupt plunge into icy waters, where every beat of my heart echoed with the intensity of rebirth. I struggled to make sense of the images and sounds that crowded my confused mind. Every detail of the hospital environment, the clanking of equipment, the frantic murmur of professionals, and the characteristic aroma of antiseptic, mixed with a feeling of déjà vu, reminding me of the immeasurable kingdom I had left behind. "How do you feel, Ariel?" Sophia Rayburn asked, carefully approaching and holding my hand. His voice was soft but carried with a quiet urgency, reflecting the concern of someone who understood that this experience was something much more than a simple cardiac arrest. As the monitors pulsed rhythmically, recording the return of my heart, a wave of emotion and confusion invaded my being. The feeling of being ripped from a universe of peace and contemplation to a scenario full of urgency and despair was almost unbearable. However, as reality set in, the understanding also emerged that that abrupt return was not a mere accident, but rather the beginning of a new mission. Every beat of my heart now seemed to carry the memory of the space I inhabited, and with it, the certainty that my experience would not be forgotten. The initial shock gave way to a silent determination to turn that second chance into an opportunity to share the transformative power of prayer and faith. After my return to the physical world, the faces around me became not just names but anchors that reconnected me with reality and with a greater mission. Sophia Rayburn, with her usual kindness, became a bridge between my new understanding and the daily life of the clinic. Amid the bright corridors and the constant sound of monitors, she approached, holding my hand firmly and carefully. "Ariel, I feel like this experience will change us all," she confided, her eyes revealing a mixture of hope and concern. Shortly afterwards, as the first doubts and questions began to give way to silent determination, Ethan Cross appeared. He was someone whose presence always carried an air of mystery and wisdom. During a brief meeting in the clinic's cafeteria, her calm and confident voice echoed. "The experience you lived, Ariel, was not a chance. She chose you to be the door between two worlds." His words, even simple, penetrated deeply, opening space for an understanding that went beyond the limits of reason. In the midst of all this turmoil and self-rebuilding came Madison Sterling, a patient whose daily struggle had become a living symbol of hope. In a hallway conversation as the sun set, she shared with moving sincerity, "I've learned to see life differently, Ariel. Your story makes me believe that even in the darkness, there is light. Your faith inspires me to fight." These meetings, full of intimate dialogues and exchanges of glances that said more than words, reinforced the idea that each being, in their uniqueness, had a vital part to play in this invisible battle between light and darkness. These interactions marked the journey not only for their intensity, but for the fact that every word spoken, every gesture shared, confirmed that I was, in fact, connected to a network of lives that, like mine, were destined to transform the world around them. Each encounter was a reminder that faith and prayer had the power to unite and strengthen, to transform not only my existence, but that of everyone who crossed my path. Now, with my heart beating at a new frequency, I understood that each beat carried a renewed purpose. I felt that upon returning from that transformative experience, it was not just my life that had been changed, but the entire essence of my existence. As I walked through the halls of the clinic, every face, every gesture, seemed to carry the message that faith and prayer were, in fact, the most powerful weapons to face the invisible battle that unfolded daily. On a sunny day, after an intense session with a group of patients, Sophia approached with a firm and serene look. "Ariel, I feel that you now carry something that goes beyond simple caring. It is as if you are the door to a new understanding, a light that can guide many in the darkness," she said, as she held my hand gently, as if she wanted to convey all the strength that resided there. These words echoed in my mind, reaffirming the mission I felt was mine. Ethan, in his enigmatic way, added, "The experience you lived is a calling, Ariel. Your every prayer, every word of faith, has the power to dismantle adverse plans. You are a warrior, and the world needs to hear what you have to say." His words, imbued with conviction, transformed the environment into something almost sacred, where every sigh was a reminder of how precious small actions are that together can change realities. In the midst of these meetings and dialogues, Madison, with her voice trembling but full of hope, confided to me in a moment of calm, "Seeing you, Ariel, transform pain into strength makes me believe that there is a light at the end of every tunnel. Your faith is like a lighthouse that guides us in the storm." Each conversation, each gesture consolidated my new mission, not just to survive but to live intensely, sharing the truth I discovered and inspiring others to find their own strength in prayer. As the sun set, casting a golden light over the city, I felt that every step, every heartbeat was a reminder that the spiritual battle is ongoing. I, Ariel Nightshade, was ready to face this invisible war, armed with the conviction that every prayer is an act of love and resistance. As the days went by, the experience I experienced took on even more intense and transformative contours. I felt that I no longer belonged only to the physical world, but that I carried with me a sacred mission to fight against the invisible forces that tried to steal people's hope. Every beat of my heart resonated with the memory of the immeasurable space I inhabited, and I knew that no matter how challenging the journey proved, the power of prayer and faith was capable of rebuilding what had been shattered. Even when medical exams and conversations with professionals failed to explain the unexplainable, I felt like something in me had been irrevocably renewed. Now, more than ever, I understood that each day was an opportunity to transform the reality around me. Every word of faith, every silent prayer, was a powerful tool to break down the barriers that separated the world of light and darkness. Amidst the uncertainties and daily challenges, I saw an invisible battle being fought by all of us. A silent fight where prayer emerged as the most effective weapon. So, with a heart full of gratitude and determination, I accepted the call to be a messenger of this truth, committed to transmitting the importance of each prayer, no matter how small, and inspiring those who still struggled to find the light in the midst of darkness. With my heart beating at a new frequency, I understood that each beat carried a renewed purpose. I felt that upon returning from that transformative experience, it was not just my life that had been changed, but the entire essence of my existence. As I walked through the halls of the clinic, every face and every gesture reminded me that faith and prayer were the most powerful weapons to face the invisible battle fought daily. On a sunny day, after an intense session with a group of patients, Sophia approached with a firm and serene look. "Ariel, I feel that you now carry something that goes beyond simple care. It is as if you are the door to a new understanding, a light that can guide many in the darkness," she said, as she held my hand gently, transmitting all the strength that resided there. These words echoed in my mind, reaffirming the mission I felt was mine. Ethan, in his enigmatic way, added in a low and confident tone, "The experience you lived is a calling, Ariel. Your every prayer, every word of faith, has the power to dismantle adverse plans. You are a warrior, and the world needs to hear what you have to say." His words, imbued with conviction, transformed the environment into an almost sacred space, where each sigh became a reminder of how precious small actions are that, when added together, can change realities. In the midst of these meetings and dialogues, Madison, with a trembling voice but full of hope, confided in a moment of calm, "Seeing you, Ariel, transform pain into strength makes me believe that there is a light at the end of every tunnel. Your faith is like a lighthouse that guides us in the storm." Each conversation, each gesture, consolidated my new mission. Not just to survive, but to live intensely, sharing the truth I discovered and inspiring others to find their own strength in prayer. As the sun set, casting a golden light over the city, I felt that every step and every beat of my heart were reminders that the spiritual battle was ongoing and that prayer was the link that united the visible with the invisible. Every beat of my heart now resonates with a calling that goes beyond mere survival. I feel that upon returning from that transformative experience, I received a gift, or perhaps a mission, that forces me to fight daily against the shadows that threaten the light. I walk through the streets of Detroit with a different look, noticing in every face, in every gesture, the presence of the invisible battle that is unfolding around us. It is as if the city itself pulses in tune with the spirit of those who, in the midst of daily chaos, keep their faith alive. As the night deepens, I remember Jim Harper's words in the emergency room, when he said, in a voice that mixed relief and admiration, "You're back, Ariel, and with it, you brought something that can't be explained but that transforms." These words echo in my mind and push me to embrace my new reality. Sophia and Ethan, with their convictions and looks that overflow with hope, reinforced in me the idea that prayer is not just an act but a powerful weapon, a spark of light capable of dismantling the darkest plans. One quiet evening, while talking to Madison on a park bench near the clinic, she murmured emotionally, "Ariel, your faith gives me the strength to carry on. With every prayer you say, I feel the darkness recede a little more." These simple but Intense statements make me realize that my journey is not lonely. Each prayer shared, each word of encouragement, builds an invisible link between me and all those who silently fight to keep hope alive. Now, with a heart full of gratitude and a mind aligned with the mission entrusted to me, I move forward. The spiritual battle that unfolds daily is a constant reminder that even in the midst of adversity, every act of faith and every prayer transforms into gestures of resistance against negative forces. I feel, in every breath, the responsibility of being the messenger of a truth that transcends the physical world, a truth that light can, indeed, emerge from the deepest shadows. Every beat of my heart now resonates with a calling that goes beyond mere survival. I feel that upon returning from that transformative experience, I received a gift, or perhaps a mission, that forces me to fight daily against the shadows that threaten the light. I walk through the streets of Detroit with a different look, perceiving in every face and in every gesture the presence of the invisible battle that is unfolding around us. It is as if the city itself pulses in tune with the spirit of those who, in the midst of daily chaos, keep their faith alive. As the night deepens, I remember the moment when, back at the clinic, the environment transformed into a stage for reconnection. The feeling of being brought from a realm of peace to a world where every breath became an act of resistance was overwhelming. Amid the frenzy of the hallways, Sophia's gentle touch, Ethan's steady gaze, and Madison's emotional words converged to form a mosaic of support and renewal. Each dialogue, each gesture, served as a reminder that faith is not just a refuge but a powerful weapon that transforms reality. In a park near the clinic, under the quiet cover of night, as I spoke with Madison, I felt the urgency of that call that echoed everywhere. Ariel, your faith illuminates the darkness, showing that there is always a light even in the darkest moments, she said, and her words stuck with me as a promise that I was not alone in this mission. The silence that followed seemed to approve every word, every beat of my heart, in a silent symphony of hope and renewal. Now, with my spirit strengthened and my mind aligned with the purpose entrusted to me, I continue my journey knowing that each prayer is an act of resistance, a gesture of love that dismantles negative forces and paves the way for transformation. Each day is an invitation to rewrite history, to transform pain into learning, and to light the flame of faith that, even in the face of adversity, never goes out. With the experience engraved in every beat of my heart, I understood that my mission goes beyond the limits of physical life. I felt that every moment was a call to transform not just my existence but that of everyone around me. As I walked the streets of Detroit, I watched in awe as the city, with its vibrant energy and scars of the past, served as a stage for an invisible battle waged daily between light and darkness. Every face, every look, reflected the hope of those who struggled to find meaning in the chaos, and I saw myself as an essential link in this network of transformation. During unexpected encounters and deep dialogues with those who crossed my path, I discovered that prayer was not a mere ritual, but a powerful tool capable of breaking down barriers and undoing evil plans. In moments of silence when the world seemed to pause to breathe, the words that echoed in my soul reinforced the certainty that faith, even in its simplest forms, possessed immeasurable power. Sophia, Ethan, Madison, and so many others became partners on this journey, offering support, teachings, and above all, the conviction that the light always prevails. In the midst of this journey, each shared prayer turned into an act of resistance, a reaffirmation that hope can flourish even in the darkest places. The city became a living testimony of this battle, a fusion of realities where spirituality and everyday life intertwined, inviting each individual to look within and discover the transformative potential of their own faith. My story, marked by a near death and a spiritual rebirth, became the voice that awakened consciences, inspired courage, and invited others to believe in the power of transforming the impossible into reality. Today, I move forward with a heart full of gratitude and an enlightened mind, ready to face the challenges that life imposes. Each prayer is a weapon I wield with the conviction that together, we can dismantle the negative forces that attempt to cloud our existence. My mission is to be the messenger of this truth, living proof that, Even in the face of the most intense adversities, the light of faith is capable of opening paths and restoring lives. I felt that my journey had reached a new level, where the near-death experience turned into a call to a greater mission. Now, each day was a battle fought in the invisible, and I found myself immersed in a responsibility that went far beyond caring for afflicted minds. Walking through the streets of Detroit, I felt as if the city itself whispered secrets and hopes, revealing that even in the darkest moments there was a light capable of breaking through the darkness. I remember one night when, sitting on a park bench, Sophia approached and said in a calm voice, "Ariel, you carry within you the power to transform not only your reality, but that of everyone around you. Your every prayer is a weapon against evil." His words resonated with me, reaffirming that the mission I now embraced was, in fact, a daily spiritual battle. Ethan also came along in one of these spontaneous conversations, commenting, "The light you radiate is a reminder that faith is the force that keeps the enemy at bay. Don't underestimate the power of every prayer." Amid these exchanges of affection and conviction, I realized that my existence had gained a new meaning. Madison's every look, full of gratitude and hope, confirmed that the pain she experienced was in fact a portal to renewal. The invisible battle that unfolded daily required not only resilience, but also total dedication to the mission of being the messenger of light, of demonstrating that faith is capable of undoing the dark plans that hide in the shadows of the world. Now, with a heart full of determination and renewed faith, I continue my journey, knowing that every prayer, every gesture of love, and every word of hope is an act of resistance. I feel like my mission is to transform pain into learning, doubt into conviction, and darkness into a beacon of light for those who are still searching for a path. Living this invisible battle, I learned that true victory lies in transforming reality, showing that faith, however simple it may seem, has the power to open paths and restore lives. If you liked this beautiful spiritual testimony, leave a like, comment on your impressions, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to activate the notification bell to watch each new video and help us spread this message to a greater number of people. Until next time,